Hey guys, Grim here, and today we're going to be talking about Deku versus Sukuna. This has been like a widely discussed topic on TikTok and such, so today I wanted to compare the two's feats and abilities and see who would be the overall winner. Since I already did a video scaling Deku, I'm going to start with Sukuna. When looking at Sukuna's AP within chapter 119 of the Shibuya incident, he could one-shot Mahoraga, and when looking at these scales come to about town level and can arguably be city level. This should be consistent with disaster curses like Jogo, with their Maximum Meteor being able to be scaled to town level. Which, speaking about Jogo, who's probably one of the strongest disaster curses in the series, he is able to create a mountain when using his domain expansion, Coffin of the Iron Mountain. Jogo also being stated to be stronger than someone like Dagon, who with his domain can create an entire island. Which with Dagon's domain expansion is kind of tricky to see if it's actually island level or not, due to, for one, we don't actually get to see the full size of the island itself. And it would be kind of weird if Jogo was stronger than Dagon, as Jogo has never shown like a island level feat, and in chapter 111, Nanami would state Jogo to be on a whole other level, meaning that Jogo would have to be stronger. And when looking at actual scales for Dagon's island, it only actually comes up to mountain level, which would make more sense considering what was just stated about Jogo in chapter 111. You can even argue that Sukuna is around planetary when it comes to its AP, due to Sukuna in chapter 236 being able to slice through the world, which this should be fine with characters like Yuki being able to create black holes that were saved by Kenjaku to be able to destroy the world. And even you could argue with Dagon's domain, there's like a light coming from it, so some people like to say there's like a star in there, and that could also help back it up. With one more thing backing it up being like on the back of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, it states that Sukuna with his full power would be able to destroy the world as we know it. And there's one thing I actually want to try and debunk, and that's High Universal Sukuna as of chapter 219. Sukuna would fight Yorozu, who can make a perfect sphere. This perfect sphere would generate an infinite amount of pressure. This should be scaled to High Universal. And there are a few reasons why I personally don't use this to get Sukuna to High Universal. For one, we know that Sukuna didn't actually destroy the sphere, it was Mahoraga. Some people might argue that that just means Mahoraga is High Universal, and since Sukuna beat Mahoraga, he would be stronger than Mahoraga, so he's High Universal, but then I would still disagree. When looking at the context behind Mahoraga adapting to the perfect sphere, we know that Sukuna basically states that Mahoraga already adapted to the liquid metal that Yorozu uses for her creations. For example, when looking at her insect armor that she used during the fight with Sukuna throughout the entire time. So it would logically make more sense for Mahoraga to adapt to the material, therefore making it possible to destroy the sphere, than Mahoraga just suddenly adapting to infinite pressure when he just got summoned out. Even more evidence would come from Yorozu basically stating that Sukuna would be toast if he was hit by it, meaning that Sukuna shouldn't be scaled to this. But with that all out of the way, let's move on into speed. When Kashimo would fight Sukuna in chapter 237, Sukuna would dodge one of Kashimo's electromagnetic waves. This has been scaled to 3 times faster than light, which should leave Sukuna around the FTL ranges in speed. So overall, you can argue that Mahoraga's around the mountain to planetary ranges with FTL speeds. Now let's get into Deku, who I already did a video on, but this is more of an update to that scaling. So looking into his AP, Stars and Stripes when using her Intercontinental Cruise Punch would generate 8.67 teratons or crunchy level AP. Now we know that One for All is a 60 times multiplier. This is stated by All Might in chapter 19 when he punched Nomu 300 times, and is stated that it would have taken 5 in his prime. Then with Fajin, Deku in 45% can make a foe 100%, which is about a 2.2 times multiplier. And then finally, when using Gear Shift, he can pull off a quintuple Detroit Smash, meaning that Gear Shift should all around be a 5 times multiplier. So when we take our multipliers times our 8.67, we would get 5.72 pentatons or multi-continental AP. We can get this even higher when using the final Detroit Smash feat from the Heroes Rising movie. When using this scale by Debunk, he had calculated the final smash to be around multi-continental or 63.8 pentatons. Then when I add all the multipliers, we get 42.1 exatons or moon level AP. Now, is this the most realistic? Probably not, but like it is something you can argue for, and I just wanted to bring that up into discussion so people can assess for themselves. Now, when moving on into speed, last time I got Deku to 8.6 times faster than light. This was using Stars and Stripes reacting to a laser beam. But for this scale, I'm actually going to use Lady Nagant's Snipe from the final war arc, which when using this scale is around 1.9% to speed of light or subrelativistic. When we apply all our multipliers into that, we actually get 12.54 times faster than light. Now again, we can actually get this way higher when using this feat from Iron Might dodging a laser in chapter 400. When looking at this, scale would be around 13% the speed of light. Now when we add all our multipliers again, we would get 85.8 times faster than light, leaving us with a overall multi-continental to moon level ranges of AP with FTL plus speeds. Now when looking into abilities, Sukuna's Cleave and Dismantle are no joke, being able to basically Duraneg, so one hit from these could actually do some serious damage to Deku and could potentially win him this battle, with Cleave and Dismantle being able to change depending on the toughness of the opponent, meaning that Sukuna could just change his Cleave and Dismantle to be able to basically slice right through Deku. And this can be improved with Sukuna's domain expansion Malevolent Shrine, where within a 200 meter radius, Sukuna can basically spam and instantly hit Deku with his Cleave and Dismantles. Sukuna also has RCT, but if Sukuna were to lose his brain, for example, he wouldn't be able to regenerate anymore, and then with his cursed tool from Yorozu, he is able to discharge electricity, as seen with Sukuna when he fights Kashimo. And then I'm not too sure if Sukuna still has the 10 Shadows technique, but if he does, he can summon Shikigami to basically distract Deku, and can use Maharaga's wheel to basically adapt to Deku's stats. But again, I'm not too sure if he still has it, but if he does, that's something he can use. And then looking into Deku's abilities, he does have Inertia Manipulation due to Gear Shift in chapter 369, which basically means he can go to a complete stop or full speed without acceleration or deceleration. This also works on objects and things Deku touch. So for example, if Deku were to hit Sukuna, he could make Sukuna at a way slower speed or basically immobile. And then with Danger Sense, he would be able to sense Shikigami coming his way or even slashes, so this can make it way easier for him to evade them. And then with Black Whip, he can restrain the Shikigami for a bit, and this could also let him focus more of his energy on Sukuna. Overall, 9 times out of 10 I would actually see Deku beating Sukuna due to his advantage in physical stats, with AP being kinda debatable, as you could argue Deku's moon level, continental, and with Sukuna he's in like the mountain to planetary ranges. Even then, Deku just has that speed difference that basically wins him this fight due to just a sheer blitz, with anything Sukuna really throwing at Deku being evaded, and Deku would just not allow Sukuna to open his domain. So therefore I'm actually going to give this win to Deku, but if you guys disagree, leave a comment down below explaining why you disagree. If you liked the video, like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.